There's also some big golf tournament here in Monterey this weekend, so
Did someone just make like a popping sound with their mouth?
No, I clapped my hands, cupped.
Oh my god! It sounded like I thought my computer I thought it was an alert notification at first or something. I was like, what?
You know, I'm not sure if I could do it again if I tried, but that's what it was.
Oh my god! That was. I hope that you caught it on a recording and it sounds as. What am I even talking about? Jesus!
You're gonna spend the rest of your life chasing that elusive high.
God, I'm just excited to be back. It's just good to be back. I don't care what I'm talking about.
Mythos Busters, investigating the mystery, monsters, and madness of Arkham Horror, the card game.
Hello and welcome to episode 61 of Mythos Busters, your mouth sound podcast about Arkham Horror, the card game. I'm Sean. Joining me tonight is the full crew. Let's start with Nick tonight. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
Good, of course.
You gonna rock out a little improv for us tonight?
Isn't that every podcast? It's not
Fair
like I have a script.
point, sir. Fair point. We're doing it right now. Joining us as well as Ian. Hi, Ian.
Mouth sounds.
Again,
Hello,
on
here.
point for things we already always do. And, of course, rounding out the crew tonight is Scott.
Buongiorno.
Scotticus. Oh, yeah,
Hello.
okay. We don't always speak Italian. That's new.
Bonjour. Comment ça va?
That's... Oh, okay, well, we switched languages there, but I'm into
Yep.
it.
I realize I don't know much Italian, so I switched to a language I actually could hold
right.
a
It's all right.
basic conversation in.
If I learned anything about Italian when I went to Italy, it's just always go with prego. It means everything.
Also the hands, right? If you're not moving your hands, you're not speaking Italian.
Well, I do that with English anyway, so I'm just right on board.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys, we have got a jam-packed episode for you tonight, so we're going to get right into it. We're going to do our first Arbits contest. I don't know, I went Kiwi there for a second. Contest wrap-up, announce our second one. We've got some very, very, very exciting news that I'm sure we'll discuss ad nauseum. And then, connecting to last episode that Nick and I missed, we're going to do another deck build, but with a twist, and we'll get to that twist when we get to the main topic. And of course, we'll round it out with a little bit of tentacle time. But before we do any of that, I want to check in with y'all. I missed last episode. Nick missed the last couple. Nick, what you been playing?
I think I played one game of Arkham. I think my wife and I tried the secret name again and got trounced again. So then I said, you know what, I'm just going to make some changes toward it. Because we're playing Rita and Preston. And since, I know, right? Since the campaign has started, I have learned quite a bit about how Rita and Preston function, especially as a group.
And how they don't.
Right. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to change our decks. I'm going to keep them, I'm not going to add experience or anything. I'm going to keep them in the same experience totals, but I'm just going to make some changes and have her focus harder on the enemy management and Preston focus harder on the clue gathering. Because before they leaned that direction, but they both kind of did everything as well. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that isn't working for us. So, yes, we are taboo friendly, to answer Carolyn is my waifu, aka Dan. I did try to keep them taboo friendly. So they're set. I know, right? I lost Streetwise. But we haven't tried it since I redid the decks. I think I only made like 6 or 8 changes total, which that's still pretty sizable in a 30-card deck, but...
It's like 25% of the deck.
But I'm hoping that it'll go better. And I still, me personally, still have not played anything past Wages of Sin. So I'm now 2 scenarios behind, and there's no indication of me catching up anytime soon. So,
well, all right, that's okay. We won't be cutting to you for up-to-date hot takes on the new ones. We'll check back with you in a little bit.
Perfect.
Scott, what you been up to?
Well, I continued playing. I have a couple of friends we play online, and we continued our campaign through the jungle of the Forgotten Age. We're playing on hard, and we decided to take random investigators
Ooh,
And
that's
one of my
interesting.
one of my friends that I play with, sorry, chose our investigators at random. We still build the deck, but like
Okay,
no
so it's not like
choosing.
Ultimatum of Chaos.
No. Like we're
Okay.
building good decks, but so he usually just plays randomly, just because he plays so much. He likes to go through all the investigators and kind of get balanced play of them. And the spreadsheet spit out Preston, Rita, and Carolyn
Wow.
on hard TFA.
Ouch.
So Preston is the only one that lived through the doom of Etsley with 0 or 1 XP.
You know, that
think
might
over
actually
2
be
scenarios?
a blessing in disguise. Just going to
Yeah.
throw that out there.
And then we grabbed other random ones, and we got Daisy and Calvin.
Yay for Daisy.
After Heart of the Elders Part 1, Calvin is at 5 trauma.
Jesus.
Preston is at 4 total trauma. Daisy's at 3 or 4, and at least 2 of those are physical.
Ouch. Ouch.
Like it's been a rough go. It's hilarious though. It's actually quite funny how many times like 3 turns in I'm like as Calvin, and Calvin is the monster slayer. I'm playing Calvin.
I mean, let's be fair. If you're going to get in the cardboard box and tell your friend to kick you down the stairs, you can't be surprised if you get a little bit of battered on the way down.
Yeah, and I mean this is fun to me, but like 2 or 3 turns in and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's a encounter card. I got a test. Oh, -6. No, yeah, I'm dead. Yep, that was fun. Like turn 3 multiple times on Heart of the Elders Part 1.
Oof.
We came out of Boundary Beyond with one pillar known, and I think it took us 7 plays to get 5 paths.
Oh my god.
or 6 plays. It was like, yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. Anyways,
Well, that
it was,
sounds fun.
yeah.
And by fun, I mean not fun. But hey, I mean, guess whatever floats your boat. I know you have a thing for harder difficulties, so I'm glad you're enjoying
As long
it.
as you're going in there with the right mentality, right? Like we looked at the mix of investigators the spreadsheet gave us, and we're like, oh boy, this is going to be a thrashing, and it has been.
Speaking of thrashings, I'll just use that to segue into most of what I've got going on. Scott, you and I have been playing a fair amount of Forgotten Age in our Tuesday night Arkham, or this day night Arkham, or today's noonish Arkham, whichever you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
And
Depends on the day.
It's it really does depend on the day, and it sure has progressed until it didn't.
Yeah, we got to City of Archives, and then City of Archives got to us.
I don't even know if you can blame that on the scenario. It was just the chaos bag. Like,
Yeah, and
Jesus.
It's funny that, like, I was just mentioning this hard playthrough I'm doing and how much fun I'm having. Like, I don't mind getting thrashed when it's fair.
Yep.
But what City of Archives did to us was illegal. Like, it was...
Not in Alabama, though.
I don't know. Is it? I'm not sure. Anyways, might have been decriminalized. Whatever.
Wait, what is City of Archives in this analogy shot?
Don't look into it too far. It's darkness.
Obviously a relative of some sort.
Yeah, so short story is we thought at first that we might, we'll probably get through this. If we're unlucky, one or more of us will walk out as a Yithian. No, we just died. We just died. And you know what? If it's probably fun to watch. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's fun to watch. I rewatched our Threads of Fate playthrough when we did it. That was just like all struggle and winning. I haven't rewatched this one. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it now, just to relive all that pain. But if you have an interest in seeing a pretty respectable campaign just crashing and burning inside of an hour, go check that out on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you're the one to enjoy watching, train derailments, I have a 90-minute one for you.
Oh man, we got hammered in so many ways. Anyway,
The amount of tentacles we drew was obscene.
well, not only that, but we both got hammered by our signature weaknesses. You more than me. Like, Call of the Unknown came out, hit you, and like the next card you drew was Call of the Unknown after you reshuffled it. It was just a friggin' thing.
And I played with it for like 6 turns. Like I was trying it, and finally I was like, no, I just have to let it go back in my deck, shuffle it in, draw a card. There it is again. I was like, you son of a, oh.
But anyway, so we're still out on whether we're going to do anything with that campaign. I mean, we lost it. We're conceding the loss. For the sake of what we were trying to do, we might pick it back up again, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And then I think the only other thing I've got going on right now is I have a Safina and Rita campaign going through TCU. And they are a fun little team, I have to say. I mean, Safina's always good. This is my first time actually playing with Rita, and she's more capable than I would have given, or that I had given her credit for. Upgrading to bow early is good, it turns out.
Yes.
Ian, what you been up to?
Well, other than continuing my few campaigns I have going through TCU, I'm about halfway caught up through playing all my campaigns through Union and Disillusion, which is a fun scenario. I won't spoil anything, but I think For the Greater Good still my favorite of the cycle so far, but Union and Disillusion is pretty fun too. So I've been enjoying that. Other than that, I talked last time around about my big money Jenny build, but I put that on hold so that I could finish my play of solo Zoe through Return to Dunwich Legacy. And I finished finally, or I should say it finished me in Where Doom Awaits.
A lot of that going around.
Yeah, I came close in Where Doom Awaits. I needed basically like one more turn to do what I needed to do. I think definitely with Sixth Sense, this was my Sixth Sense and Meat Cleaver build, and those both worked well throughout the campaign. They carried the weight as I thought they would. But the deck in solo is she's still a little slow as a solo gator, so I found the places that you would expect a slower solo gator to struggle, like Essex, for example, is where she struggled. And Where Doom Awaits is another example.
Logical reasoning on both counts.
And where the ones she did well are kind of the ones you would expect as well. So, like, having played her in the original Dunwich Legacy back in the day, she's definitely at a better place solo, but she's not like she's still not one of like the top tier solo gators or anything. But at least it's more viable than it was, and especially with Sixth Sense, a lot of it just depends on when you draw Sixth Sense, unfortunately. And I mean, I think I still would have been able to get into Lost in Time and Space, but my encounter draws and Where Doom Awaits were brutal. Like, I had to deal with 2 conglomeration of spheres throughout the scenario and a Servant of the Lurker. And 2 of those were just drawn straight off the encounter deck. And yeah. And like, she's a fighter, of course, but even though she can kill them, like the spheres, especially, like, just me having a Meat Cleaver and my firearms are coming up, it's just such an action soak. It just,
I was about to say, there's only so many actions in the game, regardless of how good you are.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, like I said, that she's slower on the investigate end. It just couldn't quite get there, but it was fun.
Aside from Roland. Yeah, okay, now I'm probably going to answer my own question here, but I'll ask it anyway. Who do you think is the most solo viable Guardian?
Roland.
I mean,
I was going to say Leo.
Besides Roland, I think.
Yeah, I said Roland, Leo, but I think the difference between
was...
Leo and Roland is pretty wide.
In Roland's favor?
Yes.
Just
because he has access to Guardian and Seeker. Like, that's a big thing.
I've heard some people having a lot of luck with solo Mark.
Actually. Yes, okay. That was actually, I was hoping to hear someone mention that, because I think he's become far more reliable. Sophie helps a lot, and there's just so much value behind drawing a ton of cards.
Very true. But you asked who was the most viable.
I didn't have an answer. I was just curious where everyone else sat.
All right. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
it's
definitely Roland, and then a big like mile wide distance, and then you can kind of order the rest.
I think Mark is much more solo viable than I expected when like we first saw him. Like seeing the power that Sophie is for him.
Yes.
Just +2 to any skill at any time is pretty big. And all it costs is a damage. And turns out that Guardians don't care too much about physical damage. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't play solo that often, so I was just curious what you guys thought. All right, so let's move it on then. First, let's check in on let's wrap up our first Orbits contest. So thank you to everyone who entered. We got a way bigger response on this one than I expected. So I've just posted today the album of all the custom signature cards that we received. There's some really cool ones out there. So the way we're going to do this is we've each picked a personal favorite, and then among those we're going to randomly choose the first winner of the Orbits contest. So I'll lead us off here. So user Dees gave us a couple of signatures for Norman. We got the Starboy Telescope, which essentially is kind of like a modified flashlight, but lets you investigate at a distant location, which just tickled me. And then Public Ridicule, which deals you a bunch of horror, but it's reduced by the amount of clues you have. So just like the simplicity of the design there and the fact that someone just gave Norman the time of day. I just really dug it. Ian?
So my pick was the replacement cards for Finn created by Paul Johnson. There were 3 that Paul created. One was Rum Runners, which was an asset which you can do an intellect test to gain 3 resources if you pass, or they help you boost your agility. The weakness was Prohibition Agents, which essentially discard all illicit cards you control, and you lose resources based on how many go away. So they're kind of dumping out your booze, which is cool. But the one that really tipped the scales for me that I really love the design of is Bootleg Gin. So this is an asset that you get minus X agility for each resource on Bootleg Gin. And basically what it lets you do is, as a free action, you can place one of your resources on Bootleg Gin and Bootleg Gin and exhaust it, and use your agility in place of your will. So I thought that was a cool design that you can shore up Finn's weakness and have him use his agility in place of his will for treacheries, but each time you do that, it's lowering his agility as he gets more and more tipsy and more resources get placed on it. So I thought that was a cool kind of self-balancing design, and I love Finn, so that one got my vote.
Nice. That weakness is brutal.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Discard all your illicit cards from play and then lose
Discard
2 resources.
everything you love.
Don't let the fuzz get you.
Oh man.
Scott, how about you?
I picked the set by Del M. It's a replacement for Ashcan Pete, and it's his guitar, Lucy. And it basically kind of turns him into a bard, so you can exhaust the guitar to choose investigate location, add +1 to a skill value for a turn, or in combination with one of the other cards, which is the Ballad of Ashcan Pete. It says when an exile card would be returned to the collection, instead place that card beneath the Ballad of Ashcan Pete. And then when the game ends, return all cards beneath the ballad back to your deck instead of going to the collection. So basically cancels the exile. However, you can also exhaust the guitar Lucy to choose a card beneath the ballad, play that card as if it were in your hand, then return to the collection. So you can I think it's almost too powerful because Stroke of Luck, or not Stroke of Luck, Test of Will. Like you can cancel something and then it goes underneath and then you can play it again. But and then you can also discard Lucy and you can fight and smash the guitar over their head, which is super fun.
Yes, the old honky tonk man maneuver.
Actually, and then
I think that had a name, but
and then there's the weakness is Funny John. He's aloof. He spawns farthest from you, and while Funny John is at your location, treat each asset at your location as if the text box were blank. So, hurts your friends too, yeah.
And not even just items, like everything.
Just assets, blank.
Oof.
Yep. And everyone's. Like, it's terrible. He's only got 1 health, though, so it's fine.
Oh,
So it's fine.
Yeah.
mano a mano.
Yeah, there you go. Coup de grace.
Coup de grace, yeah.
Oh, right, you were naming a bad card. Sorry.
That's true.
Nick, name good cards.
So you guys went in a totally different direction than I did. I didn't pick any that I thought this is a well-themed replacement. I really like how it plays. I just saw one that had John Wayne's picture on it, and I thought that's the one I'm picking because that looks great. So Chris M made replacements for Ashcan Pete as well, and his replacement ally is the Duke, John Wayne. And he's got a cool ability. You get +1 will and +1 combat for having him out, which is pretty good. And then he's got action, exhaust the Duke, fight. You get +2 combat for this attack and deal +2 damage, so that's nice. But what really sold me on this is the weakness, Sucker Punch. Because this, I just love I love this card. Sucker Punch is Revelation. Take the top enemy from the discard pile and engage it with you. The enemy immediately performs an attack. And then if no enemy was engaged, take 1 horror and shuffle Sucker Punch back in your deck. So I like this idea that, like, Sucker Punch triggers. You get a Sucker Punch from an unexpected enemy, one you thought you were done with. And then, like, Sucker Punch comes up later, and there's no enemy in the discard pile, and so then it's like the paranoia of it could happen again. It's causing you horror. I love that. Oh, it's so
Surprise, sucker!
Exactly.
Pow! Right in the kisser.
All right, love it. Okay, so among these 4, like I said, the entries we got were great. Definitely go check out that album on Facebook. It's straight on our page. There's some really cool stuff in there. It was really hard not to pick the Diana one. Someone was really playing toward the audience, or toward their audience. But yeah, so let's roll to see who gets this. Scott, would you do the honors?
And, well, before we roll, are we just going in order, like, an order of our names on here? So Sean is 1, Ian is 2, I'm 3. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I have my baffled dice tower. Number 1, Sean.
Woo!
Dees.
All right, so Dees wins the first Arbits contest. So, Dees, when you listen to this, go ahead and well, I'll be emailing you back from your entry as well. We'll figure out your address and get that out to you.
Congrats.
Fantastic. So with the first contest wrapped up, let's move on to number 2. Scott, since this one was your brainchild, lay it on us.
So excited. Roast a host. So, this is going to be, if you've ever seen the celebrities read mean tweets about themselves thing from Jimmy Kimmel, very similar. So, basically entered
Except
by...
we don't have all the money and fame to comfort us.
Yes. We are not as rich as Jimmy Kimmel. Even if we combined all our money, I don't think... Yeah, anyways.
You're very likely.
Or the celebrities that are reading their tweets. Anyways, email us, send us a tweet-length-ish roast of any one of us 4.
Or
next
all
show,
of us 4.
Or all 4. I think it'd be nice that, like, what I'm picturing is, like, specific host roasts.
Oh, boy.
And, like, I want us to read the roasts about ourselves. So we have to, you know, we have to experience those words. And one thing I'm going to say, don't hold back. Use teeth. Like, this is a roast. Like, gut us.
I mean, hold back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
but
put one glove on.
maybe like you know, the gloves you put on in winter, like those thin, like when it's like only
driving
like
gloves?
-5 out. Yeah.
Wait, that's what you wear in winter? You're from Canada.
To drive.
What? The beginning of winter.
Okay, there you go. So
There's
like,
multiple. There's multiple winters.
They don't wear gloves. They just put their hands inside bears. That's what Canadians do. Don't try to figure it out.
Save it. Just save it.
No, don't. That's a rabbit hole you should not follow.
Yeah, exactly. Just leave it there.
So, anyways, if you ever watched Jimmy Kimmel's Celebrity Reads Mean Tweets, or you've gone on Reddit and like the roast me subreddit. Think of those. Send us a roast. We'll read a bunch on the air, and then we'll pick probably similar ones. We'll do the same thing where we'll each pick one about ourselves, and we'll roll off again.
Yeah, and if you'd be so kind, I know there's lots of ways to contact us, just so we can keep our heads straight and get these compiled in an efficient manner. If you would email your roasts to us at mythosbusterspod@gmail.com, we will take them that way and read them off next episode. I'm excited and scared. I'm scared roused.
Ooh, big boy pants. Big boy pants time.
Gotta toughen up my skin.
Fantastic. So, moving on from there, Ian, what patron business have we? Fair amount, I think.
Yeah, there's actually a lot. So, first off, thanks to our board members. I mentioned last time around we opened up 4 more slots on our board. So we are now up to an illustrious 11 board members. So thanks to Chris B, Chris H, and Chris U, Cyclos, Alex, Ian, Kyle, Philip, Dave, and our 2 new board members, Abilio and Nathan. Thanks so much for the huge support you give us. And there are still...
How do we have a board that big at this point?
I don't know. I question that every day.
I'm reeling from flattery.
Yeah. And we actually still have 2 more board slots available to get us up to a nice even 13. So it's even, don't question
Surely we couldn't fill those, he said to himself for the 6th time.
Yeah. Well, we shall see, but they have been in demand so far, and if you have had your eye on the slots, there are 2, so go ahead and grab those. No idea how long it will take to fill up, so if you have the means, yeah, we'd certainly like to have you on our board. Special shout out to a random patron this time around is Old School Gamer. Thanks so much, Old School Gamer. And we do have 4 new job titles to roll out. So the HR has been very busy, and so we now have some titles for Chris Watt, who is our spirit medium and headgeist vacuumer. Because as everyone knows, the best way to handle ghosts and geists is to just vacuum them away.
You got to keep them out of the attic. Otherwise it's just not going to be the same come spring.
Yeah. Abilio is our deputy director of mergers and conglomeration.
Yeah, see, I don't know how to spell vacuumer either, Nick.
It's not a word, it turns out.
Is it 2 C's? Is it 2 U's? Is it 2 M's? Who knows?
It's not 2 M's.
I think part of the job is finding the correct spelling. That's the
first
my
god,
task.
It is 2 M's. What an absurd word.
Vacuumer.
Who came up with this?
So Abilio is our deputy director of mergers and conglomerations. Speaking of conglomerations of spheres, so all those are going to get conglomerized. Jesse Cunningham is going to be taking on the role of head office chef and distraction guru. So whenever we need a distraction, we will definitely be calling on Jesse, which is often.
Particularly of the cunning variety.
Yep. And finally, Nathan Early is the director of atmospheric tension and absurdly scary sounds. Also known as Scott.
Dad ass.
Oh, man. Yes, that is the Nathan's title. And if you've ever been in the Arkham Facebook group, you've probably seen Nathan Early's fantastic, I don't even know what you'd call them, landscapes while he's playing Arkham Horror scenarios. Like, there are actual buildings and cars and trees and roads, and yeah, that's kind of why he's the director of atmospheric tension.
Excellent.
So, final bits of patron business. Reminder that our Gen Con event is on Saturday at 1 p.m. Don't miss it. We are sold out, but please show up anyway, if possible. Even if you're not able to grab a ticket, we'd like to meet you and play with you. And Few more things. Wow, we have a lot of Patreon business. So we have, thanks to all the support, smashed our $300 goal. So we will be rolling out our Dissonant Voices project soon-ish. So this is where we're going to be doing audio recordings of campaign log text. So if you don't feel like reading, or you just want some dramatic readings, we got you. We're going to be working on that soon.
Yeah, well, let's be honest with everyone. We didn't expect to be balls deep in the musical episode when we hit the 300 goal. So it's going to be on the back burner for a little bit, but I think we can get it done before TCU wraps. And I'm working on TCU as my highest priority just to get everything current out there. So, and that will be going out to any of our patrons who are in at any level. So if that's something you're looking forward to, and that's what makes you take the leap, it's a great time for it.
Yep, that'll be something our patrons can access once we start rolling them out. So more details on that to come. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because we don't have all the details, but it shall be happening. I believe that is it, unless I'm forgetting anything.
One thing I wanted to mention, musical episode, it is coming together.
Oh
my God.
It is.
Like, I've put the last 2 weeks, I've put so many hours into this. My goal is still to be done, like, cut it, send it on Canada Day, July 1st. And the way we're going to put it out, just to give you guys a little tease, we're going to have some live screenings without a screen.
Question mark?
Of the musical episode. So basically, like we're doing now, but the musical episode is going to be, it's pre-recorded and everything, right? It's going to be like a show that we just put out. But we're going to play it here on Discord and then be in the chat so you guys can, like, chat with us, laugh with us, all that stuff. We'll do a couple of those, and then we'll release it in different ways. So just hinting at what's going to happen, but hold on for July. July is going to be awesome.
Yeah, more details to come, but goddamn, it's actually... I can't believe this is a thing that's about to exist.
I can't wait for people to hear this.
Some of the songs I've been listening to at work, like, they're so good. Like, and some of them are so bad they're good.
Yep. I'm so excited. I'm so glad we finally got this almost done. God, I never want to look at a waveform again in Audacity, like, ever. Story. I almost took a picture of the hobbled together recording booth that I put together for laying down my tracks. I had the bench pushed up against the back of my couch and, like, chairs upside down on the table with a blanket draped over the whole thing to baffle. Oh man, jeez,
it was. Yeah, my wife walked in on me at one point, and I think that was probably the most embarrassing moment of my marriage. So
just looks at you, just that kind of look of shame and disgust, and just, you know, shakes the head slightly and just walks out.
When she doesn't even bother to ask, I know something's up.
I think when I laid down my tracks, I just, like, grabbed a beer, like, did a big sigh. It's like working myself up, and then close the door. Just do the slow door close.
All right, excellent. So, more details to come on the musical episode in the next couple of regular episodes. I think the one thing we can confirm is that it's going to initially be a patron-only release outside of the live showing recordings that we're going to do. So again, if that's something that you want to be a part of or have ready access to, find our Patreon and hop on.
It will come out in general circulation eventually.
Eventually, yes. But patrons get us first because they
paid for
it. They were the ones who asked for it.
Did they, though?
Yeah.
Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do.
I'm going to pretend that they did.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to skip community for the week just because we've got so many other things to get to. So, Ian.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Do we have news? Lay it on us.
Was there news of some kind? We got the huge, amazing, astounding announcement of what the next cycle is going to be after TCU, the Circle Undone wraps. And we are going to the Dreamlands. This is going to be the Dreamland cycle, and it's going to be kicked off with the Dream Eaters Deluxe Expansion. This is, can you believe it, the 5th cycle of Arkham Horror already? I still feel like we're in the early life of the game for some reason, but it's already cycle 5. Is that true?
Is 5?
That's what it says in the article. Yeah, I guess it is the 5th cycle, huh? Wow.
It's almost double the cycles of Conquest.
This is like the Angmar Awakened of Arkham Horror drink?
Yeah.
Is that true? Oh,
yeah, I can't believe that.
wow.
Yeah.
That was the sound of my mind blowing.
Hopefully we'll get like 20 more cycles after this, but I guess just enjoy it for now. So yeah, we are going into the Dreamlands. As always, I won't spend too much time with the encounter side of things. Only to say, though, there is one thing worth touching on, which is super fascinating how they're handling things. There's always some kind of new innovation to how the campaign is handled. And this time around, for the Dreamlands campaign, it's actually split in 2. And they mentioned there's going to be like separate campaign logs for the separate campaigns. So one of the campaigns is going to be focused on the people who remain in the actual quote unquote real world, and the other campaign is going to be the investigators who are plunging into the realm of dreams. And so we don't really have details about how or if those 2 separate campaigns are going to interact in some way. I'm sure they will. It says that
One would hope.
Yeah, it says that you can play them as like a 4-part campaign, each of them, or you can combine them into some kind of big cohesive 8-part campaign. So somehow they will interact, but I'm really interested to see how that's actually going to play out.
Part of me is actually really excited for a campaign that's slightly more bite-sized.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Agreed.
Agreed, yeah. Have they announced, I haven't read the article in full, have they announced how they're releasing it? Are they just alternating one and the other, or are they doing 2 of one and then 2 of the other? I guess they'd have to alternate it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I don't know if they announced that. I'm trying to remember, but I don't think they specified that, but I think people are assuming that it's going to alternate back and forth between them.
I don't even think about that. Man, the release model of this game really kind of screws with some of the weird things Matt likes to do, I think. But that should never stop you. Weird Matt is best Matt.
Yes. Fully agreed. And speaking of weird Matt.
Yes!
Perfect segue into our new investigator, because he is fully weird. And he is purple, so that means Sean gets to read him. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, is that me?
Yep.
All right. Well, let me present to you, ladies and gentlemen, Luke Robinson, the Dreamer. He has 4 willpower, 3 intellect, 2 combat, and 3 agility, so Mateo stats. Ugh. He has Dreamer, Drifter, and Wayfarer traits, which was the name of my folk blues band in high school. You begin the game with Gatebox in play. You may play 1 event each turn as if you were at a connecting location and engaged with each enemy at that location. I mean, someone could probably write an essay on exactly what that implies. He's got the Elder Sign effect +1, place 1 charge on Gatebox. He's got 5 health and 9 sanity. So yeah, I mean, I suppose we gotta go with Gatebox because that's he starts with it.
That's
play.
important.
It's like talking about Ashcan without talking about Duke, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do I get to do Gatebox too? All right, we're going with it.
Go for it.
Gatebox is obviously Luke's signature asset. It is 3 cost, worlds within worlds. It has the item and relic traits. Uses 3 charges, free action, exhaust Gatebox and spend a charge. Disengage from each enemy engaged with you and search your bonded cards for Dreamgate Wondrous Journey. Put it into play and move to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads us... I mean, like...
Now you have to read Dreamgate.
I know. Like, just sorting through this article is kind of like a lucid dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the matryoshka of investigators.
Just streaming one thought into the next. All right, so then Dreamgate Wondrous Journey is a location. It has
I'm gonna go to the bathroom or something.
It has 1 shroud, 0 clues, It's bonded to Gatebox, Dreamlands traded, and it's connected to each other revealed location and vice versa. Enemies and investigators other than Luke Robinson cannot enter Dreamgate. Forced at the end of the investigation phase, set Dreamgate aside out of play. If Luke Robinson is here, move him to any revealed location. So you can just nope out into a little pocket dimension for a turn.
Yeah.
And then you can affect everything everywhere.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have an answer.
Yeah, I hope. So if I'm Luke Robinson and I'm at Wondrous Journey, and I play Blinding Light, does that mean I can evade every enemy on the board? And engage with each enemy, or do you still have to choose one? You still have to choose one, right? That'd be busted.
Well, yeah, because you're choosing one, like you're evading. You can
But you
play
can
it as
choose
if you're
from
somewhere.
But you can choose
Yeah.
any of them. Okay.
No,
Yes.
the real
badass.
one is Storm of Spirits.
Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Holy yeah.
Yeah.
Just hit everybody. 2 damage to every enemy in play.
Oh yeah, and Drawn to the Flame.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Drawn to the Flame. is a
No,
good
Drawn to
one.
the Flame is your location, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
I think-
you're correct.
I think Storm Spirits still, you would still just choose a location.
Damn it.
Because you can.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you fight and you choose an enemy,
Yes.
but you can choose
But you
any
can choose
enemy
from
and
any
you
location.
you still
Any
bomb
location
a location.
and-
yeah.
So would it hit only the enemies at the location of the enemy you chose, or at your location, aka Dreamgate? Which it can't, because there's no
I
enemies
think-
in Dreamgate.
I think it's hitting the location that they are at.
Okay, so it's
Like-
an orbital strike.
Yeah, you play an event as if you're there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, you're just calling down the thunder. Okay.
Yeah, I predict this is going to have a lot of rules questions coming up. For sure.
So it's
Yeah.
not you're at every location, you're just connected to them.
So if you're playing an event as if you were at that location and engaged with each enemy at that location, does that mean you're taking opportunity attacks for them? Like, say you play a Drawn to the Flame or something, and you're
Only
trying.
at the location you're choosing, I would think.
I would say yes.
Yeah,
like,
because
so,
it's
yeah.
as if you were engaged with each enemy, right? So you would take the
Yeah.
opportunity attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So worth keeping in mind. But it's a lot of flexibility there.
Mm-hmm. Is there any
Man,
Is there any event that's like, do this to something at your location and each connecting location? I'm trying to rack my brain because that would be bonkers.
Not on player cards. I can only think of encounter cards that do it, like the guy at the end of the theater. God, what's the name of that? Curtain call.
Oh, the emissary?
boss on
Organist?
Curtain. Yeah, the
Oh,
emissary.
yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, that's all I can. I can't think of player cards.
Yeah, that's probably good. But this also, like, I mean, his ability to like walk into this dream gate and like look at like Doom of Etsley, right? Like grabs the thing, is like, well, see ya, pocket
Yeah.
dimension to the front door. Well, you know, like
It's
you
like
start
so
with
many-
three
yeah.
elusives essentially in play.
That said, though, TFA is going to hinder this guy quite a bit because all those scenarios when you start with like one location in play and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna have to open up the map first. I feel like Luke is gonna be a ridiculous multiplayer investigator.
Yes.
Probably not as good
Yeah.
in solo.
Yeah, definitely agreed. The gate box just rolls so many things into it at once because it's like a free escape if you need it to disengage, and hunters can't get you. It's like a free astral travel when you leave because you can move to any revealed location. It's just a lot of flexibility. He's really
Oh,
gonna
God,
like hemispheric map though, huh? Because because that
Hemispheric
location is
map at
connected
the
to
dream gate.
every revealed location at once.
Oh yeah, that's just a +2/+2 most of the time.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, so last one. What? How does it read? Hang on, let me pull it up here. Someone else say something.
What card? Well, don't just leave us hanging. What card are you talking about?
Well, now I've forgotten. Hang on.
Really? Oh my god.
I will
These are
say,
great mouth sounds.
as usual, they didn't give us his deck building, so we don't know his full potential as far as events, because depending on what class he has, there could be some great like events he could play.
Okay, well, should we just move on to his weakness
Yep.
while we're waiting for Sean to...
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, Sean seems pretty detached from reality. Detached from reality is a madness weakness. Revelation. If Dreamgate Wondrous Journey is already in play, flip it over. Otherwise, search your bonding cards for Dreamgate Pointless Reality and put it into play. In either case, disengage from each enemy engaged with you and move to Dreamgate. And this bad Dreamgate is Pointless Reality, 6 Shroud, 0 clues, bonded. Enemies and investigators other than Luke Robinson cannot enter Dreamgate. And then reaction, after you successfully investigate Dreamgate, flip it. Again, 6 Shroud. Forced, at the end of the investigation phase, set Dreamgate aside out of play. If Luke Robinson is here, move him to any revealed location, and he takes 2 horror.
Yeah. So not only is his intellect really low, or like average, but his will also isn't super high either. So the mystic tricks to investigate around High Shroud aren't really going to cut it here. You really just have to commit, and you have to like use Sixth Sense and then also commit and just hope for the best, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And the thing is, too, that this doesn't say it's connected to any... Like, you can't just walk out of this dream.
No.
You are stuck in it. I think this just reads take 2 horror. And don't do anything this turn. You lose a turn and take 2 horror.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Sucks, but... I mean, you can still play your events.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, because it's not connected to
you
anything.
can. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can just
You can
build
draw
your board
cards.
state at this point.
Yeah.
You can play assets and stuff.
I could see times when this would hit when it could actually be like not too bad because it still disengages and moves you. So there could be times when it's like, oh, I'm swamped with enemies, and this actually hits and takes you out at least for a turn. So this might be one of those weaknesses that's a little swingy.
Yeah, as long as you're engaged with enemies that are dealing more collective damage to you than 2 horror,
Right.
that actually wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
And then give you...
He's a 5/9, too. Like, 2 horror isn't terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's usually a little pressure on sanity if you're trying to run certain spells, but it's like at 9 sanity. That's not terrible. By the way, I don't know why my brain broke for a second there, but I was just trying to look up recharge to see if it worked on relic assets because to my knowledge it only worked on spells, but it totally does work on relics. So you can recharge your gate box. You can also discard your gate box, so bear that in mind.
Well, if you discard it, you can somehow get it back. Then you can put it out again.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing? And I suppose if he's Survivor, he could scavenge it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be off-class Seeker, though, right?
I don't know. He could be
You don't
something
think so?
weird, too. He could be traded. He could be traded.
Yeah, I have a feeling
Sure.
he's going to be something like... Yeah, one of the trait-based building. Some kind of
Only
certain
dream
traded
cards.
events.
We're getting to that point in the game where traits are becoming more robust and like
And then
specific,
there's Blessed.
right? Or tricks.
Tricks
and then
are better than Blessed.
Yeah, I was gonna argue with you, but you're totally right. All right, well, we'll have to see, right?
Yeah, yeah. I love this design. I can't wait to... regardless of how good he ends up being, like, this is just a fun design. I can't wait to mess around with this.
What does Myriad do?
We don't...
I just saw that for the first time.
That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a few interesting cards in the card fan that we can't quite see. Well, we can see Open Gate, actually, so maybe we should read that
Nick.
one.
Okay.
Aw.
Oh, shut up.
You got to read 3 cards. You're fine.
All right. Myriad. No, Open Gate is a mystic event. It costs 1 resource, has a will and agility skill icons, spell traded. Myriad, and then fast are its keywords. It says play only during your turn, attached to your location. Group limit 3 in play. That's an interesting number. Investigators may move between any 2 locations with an attached open gate as if the locations were connected. And Network 57 in chat says, my assumption is it allows you to have 3 copies in your deck. To which I ask, how many copies of this do you think come in a Mythos pack, if that's the case?
I would assume a playset.
You would assume. I would.
See the release model of this game really puts a little bit of shackles on Matt for how weird he can be.
Yeah. But I mean, if there's one, like if that's what Myriad does, 3 included in your deck, and then if you have 1 per class, that's 1 for every Mythos pack.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 neutral, then that would include the what you call it? No, that would be 1 per every. I don't know. I'm losing it. How many Mythos packs are there? I forget how long.
6.
There are 6.
What game are we talking about?
Who are you guys? Where am I?
Who took my pants?
Who put this poop in my pants? If it's of any help, the word myriad is a countless or extremely great number. I'm guessing in some way it's just going to be you can have more than 2 in your deck. I don't know where it's going to cap.
Yeah.
3 seems reasonable, but
I've also heard the guess that maybe it's like when you play a Myriad card, you then go search your deck for another copy of the one you just played or something.
That seems interesting.
That is interesting.
That was one that I saw.
That
like,
would
that'd
make
be
this
sweet.
card immensely more useful than having to find your second one.
What was the magic keyword that it copied itself for every card you played before it? What if Myriad something weird like that?
Storm.
Slivers?
Storm. Slivers are the creature, but Storm, yeah. So you play a Storm card, and then you would copy the effects of the Storm card for every card that was played before it on that turn. I don't think we'd see anything like that with this, just from the nature of how this card functions, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Still,
Keep with this card.
Open Gate is the kind of mystic weirdness that I've been waiting for a while. Like, Astral Travel is cool. I like it. It's a good cheeky one of, but this is so friggin' cool.
Yeah.
Just imagine like Unspeakable Oath just dropping one towards the beginning and then another one down in the basement and everyone just teleports through. That would be so nice.
Doom of Etsley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carnival.
Drop one on the intro. Oh god, Carnival. That would be amazing.
Right?
Eternal
So you can go
Slumber
backwards.
with that big old map.
Oh, yeah.
Or god, how about Rougarou? You just put one in each corner and you can skip the bayou entirely.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to note that enemies can't move through the open gate. It doesn't connect the locations.
Yeah.
It just lets investigators go. That's insane to me.
So good.
This should be like one experience.
This is some Doctor Strange shit.
Yeah.
I guess my question then is, if you walk through the open gate, you take the attack of opportunity of something you're engaged with, does it stay at your previous location?
It would I would think it would have to go with you because you don't disengage from it. And
Right.
It doesn't technically move if it's in your threat area, right?
Exactly.
Right. But
You're
going
picking
into
it
the
up
gate box
But
does...
you're picking up the rats and carrying them with you.
They're just hugging you from behind as you go through the open gate.
You better hope they're not those swole rats because they're heavy.
So it'd be good for Safina because she could grab those copies quick.
Oh god!
That's
Could
insane.
you painted world open gates?
Yes.
I don't see why not. Yeah. I
Yep.
don't see why not.
And it would stay in play as an open gate too.
Oh, that would be...
Oh, be still my heart.
insane.
4-player
But how many-
Safina
Well,
just gets better and better.
But it's max 3 in play. Group limit
But-
3 in play.
But
Still.
you get access to them quicker.
Yeah,
assuming
faster.
that's how it
yeah.
works.
Yeah, unless Myriad means go find another copy when you play this, then the value
Yeah.
goes down. But if it's
I-
not that, it's great.
I literally thought you were going to say, unless Myriad means go fuck yourself.
That too.
I mean, it's Arkham Horror. It's not out of the realm of feasibility.
That happens eventually. Plus, I love the idea of like Safina getting out her paintbrush and just painting a door in the wall and everyone walking through.
Bugs Bunny style.
Yeah.
Was it the Coyote and Roadrunner?
Or that, yeah. But that was always a fake, like the road... Oh, no, the road... Never mind.
Yeah.
Tangent today.
Yeah.
Meep, meep.
That's in our cartoon cast.
Don't.
Don't tempt me, Frodo.
There is an interesting rogue card that we can't see enough of to really talk about, but we can't see enough. It's Crystallizer of Dreams that when you play it, you have to search your bonded cards for some kind of nasty sounding Guardian of the Crystallizer and put it in your deck. So it's kind of like adding a weakness, it sounds like, to your deck. Unless the Guardian is good, who knows? But I kind of got the sense, because it's an additional cost, that it's something bad.
At one cost, I'm not hopeful.
Yeah, and there's some kind of reaction, so we don't know what the reaction is, so we don't know if it's worth it yet to put some bad, nasty enemy in your deck, or whatever it is, but I'm very tantalized.
Also, beware the Zoogs now. Ancient Zoog. Zoog is an enemy type. Add 1 swarm card to each swarming Zoog. What's even going on with this cycle?
I am just excited because the Dreamlands is just such a weird part of Lovecraft's work that it's almost like fantasy elements as well.
It's like Demented Oz.
Yeah, so we're going to get enemy types that we've never seen before, and so I'm looking forward to that kind of variety.
So who's bringing the LSD when we Iron Man this?
I'm going to guess the campaign is.
Yeah.
There's going to be tabs in the campaign guide.
Yeah. Tear off this corner.
The snozberries taste like
Record in your
snozberries.
campaign guide that you are tripping balls.
Who's going to play
About
Luke
this
for
time
Iron
the drugs
Man?
started to take hold. Yeah.
All right. Oh, fantastic. It seems weird that was already late. I don't know, when that announcement dropped, I'm like, oh shit, we're already talking about the next cycle?
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a signal of how, like, I'm not crazy far behind, but I don't feel like I've really played a lot of TCU just because I guess so much of my Arkham energy has gone into podcast stuff, but man, they are not slowing down on the release cycle. And we've got Path to Carcosa that's probably going to drop before this comes out. So there's a whole nother campaign to pound out.
I think that's the other thing too, is there's more content than ever before, like, because now I'm not only playing TCU campaigns, but I'm also doing like quite a few Return to Dunwich Legacy campaigns, and I'm sure I'll be doing Return to Carcosa campaigns, so a little bit of divided attention these days.
Oh, just a tad. Just a tad. All right, excellent. So let's move it on an hour into the meat of our of our conversation here. So last time you guys begrudgingly crafted a kicking and screaming Skids build.
I was
Scott?
kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
That was
that's probably,
Scott was doing most of the screaming.
that's probably fair to say. And Scott, you mentioned that some of Ian's best play stories in the past have been the adventures of Skids and Daisy. And
Easily. Yeah.
I fully agree. And I was listening to that episode and was like, yes, let's make this a thing. So what we're doing tonight, guys, is we're going to make a Daisy build specifically crafted to go with the Skids build from our last episode. And then we're going to put it to the community to take this deck, or those decks, and try out a campaign with them. We want to try to make this into a little bit of a community challenge. Not one that's really specific, but just take these 2 decks, play through a campaign, share your stories, share your upgrade path. Just try to make it a little bit of a talking point, kind of like a campaign book club, more or less, for the Eldritch Adventures of Skids and Daisy. So, that said, you guys leaned somewhat more into enemy management for the Skids build.
For sure, yeah. He's got a couple little clue tools, but don't expect much.
Sure. So I think, honestly, that couples really well with Daisy. So I'm excited for this. So what I want to do first is, Daisy's just crazy flexible, right? Like, there are so many different ways you can go with her. I want to pick out with you guys a few key cards, whether they be in the level 0 build or whether they be planned upgrades, that we want to build toward, and kind of use that as the guiding stone for our build here. So
guiding stones?
well, I mean, maybe. But what I will say is there have been a fair few tomes that have come out since I've really readdressed Daisy.
Yes.
So I'm looking up on ArkhamDB right now and controlling for tomes. So
We should also mention, too, that we're tabooing.
yes,
These are taboo compliant.
Yep.
These are taboo compliant decks.
So maybe Milan is not the end all be all.
Exactly. Your mileage may vary though, so let's see where we go with it. So guys, I kind of, and I'll put this to you. You can tell me no if you want. I kind of want to try to see what happens when we go heavy tome with Daisy finally, because we have a few more.
Yep.
What do you think?
That's exactly where I was sitting, because I want to try out these new tome cards.
So you want to turn her signature skill card into a usable asset.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Okay.
I mean, you still have to be playing. You still have to want to put into play at least 3 tomes in a single time for that to be useful. So I'm not saying for sure her tote bag will ever get played, but I'm kind of hoping that some of the feedback we get or some of the stories that get shared will include like, hey guys, I actually played the tote bag and it was good.
Yeah.
So just kind of looking at, we've got Old Book of Lore, obviously. That's her true signature card. Mm-hmm. We've got Scroll of Secrets, the multi-class, and then the upgrade. So running through that, that one's okay. Have you guys used it in any other investigators yet?
Not really.
No. I think it's better as a free action, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Like, it feels like it's a slightly better Old Book of Lore, but I'm not sure.
With limited uses.
Yeah, that's the thing with the 3 secrets. That's what makes me kind of, yeah.
But hey, it turns out Survivor's got a couple ways to boost their secrets, right?
They do, yeah.
Did I say Survivor? Seeker.
Yeah, Seekers, yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Let's just run through all the tomes in the game. So we've got Archaic Glyphs. Mm-hmm. That's the one that upgrades into either Guiding Stones or Prophecy Foretold. Mm-hmm. We've got Medical Texts, which, are medical texts. Mm-hmm. Old Book of Lore. Scroll of Secrets. At level 0, I think that covers them all.
That is it, yeah.
Yep. So looking at upgraded ones, we've got Book of Shadows level 1, which Daisy can take. I mean, unless we're leaning heavy spell, I don't see us actually keeping that in the deck, but it is a thing. And
now that higher ed is tabooed and it's so expensive, like I used to take Shriveling in Daisy and immediately get higher ed and actually have a decent ability to fight. And Book of Shadows 1, maybe, but not now.
Sure. The one that I've really got my eye on, and I'm hoping you guys are with me on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Is De Vermis Mysteriis.
Yep. That's
Signs of the Black Stars. Okay, good. So it's the new level 2 one that just came out. 2 cost, action, exhaust it, put a doom on it, and play a spell or insight event from your discard pile, reducing its resource cost by 1. Remove it from the game after you've played it. That is an interesting card.
Yes. It's a recursion Daisy of a type we haven't seen or thought about before.
And I think... okay, so then moving out of Mystic, we've got Encyclopedia. I mean, everyone knows Encyclopedia, right? Corset, we're good. Esoteric Atlas? Wait, has that come out yet? That just came out, didn't it?
Union Dissolution. Yeah, just came out.
Yep, okay, so that's the 1 XP one. Costs 3, 4 secrets. Action, spend a secret. Move to a revealed location 2 connections away. Mm-hmm. I'm still really not sure what that one does, but it's there.
I mean, you can use Daisy's free action to move. It turns a tome action into a move action. It's just like the same way, Unearth the Ancients turns Ursula's Investigate into playing a card, kind of. Like it's...
Yeah.
I think this is super dependent on what campaign you're doing, the size of maps. Like, this is almost to me like a more of a standalone card, actually. Like something in, what's the circular one? We just named it Carnival.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, this would be an excellent 2 of in Daisy in Carnival.
Yeah. I think what makes that awkward, especially in like 2-player versus higher player counts, is that it has to be a location that's exactly 2 connections away. So if it was like up to 2 connections away, then you could just use that free action to move right next to you, but that it has to be timed perfectly to like teleport 2 connections away makes it a little weird.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem this one has going for it is at the same XP and resource cost, you could get Pathfinder.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
And that's the thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's a horrible card. I just think this is like a 3 or 4 player nod.
Okay. Which card are we talking about?
Esoteric.
Esoteric Atlas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, garbage. Get rid of it.
Well,
So,
we haven't even put it in yet, so that's super easy.
Perfect.
Mike-
What's in
Mike-
so far?
Nothing.
Right now, we're just
Nothing.
looking at the tomes. If we're going to build around tomes, we just want to confirm what our key tomes are.
Getcha.
Now, one thing about Esoteric Atlas, I kind of have a question though, is if you have like let's say 3 locations in a triangle shape, is each location 2 connections away, right? Because if you like
Right.
look at it the long way, right, so that you could use Daisy's bonus action as a move action,
That's a
because
good,
that's what essentially it does, right? It
Yeah.
converts it. So
that's a good question.
could you just do the 2? You know what I mean?
Because it is both 2 and 1 connection away.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
What is the exact
was-
meaning of exactly?
Yeah.
Okay, it's cut.
And-
It's cut.
Just because we don't want to have to think
It's
about
just
it.
cut. It's just cut.
Yeah.
I think Esoteric Atlas is more a standalone include when you know the map you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So let's just stop talking about it.
Okay.
Narcotic Manuscripts, really good. I don't think we necessarily build around it because it's so expensive, but it is a fantastic card, right?
Sure.
Yes, but I would say if you're going to go that way, you also pack secret recharging because it's so expensive, but it is so good. Like you want to get every ounce of work out of this card.
Yeah. The other thing I will say is this would have been a great choice if we had built our skids, the super action heavy skids. Then you could do the Daisy, choose skids, and then he doesn't reveal chaos tokens for... it's just the next skill test, not until the end of the round. I was thinking Will to Survive. Never mind, forget what I
It's
said.
not Will to Survive.
Yeah.
Will to Survive on a stick.
So I would say Narcotic Manuscripts probably something that you look at in your upgrade path. Maybe not something we build around.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Because by the time we get it, it'll be a while into the campaign, I think.
Right. But then upgraded Scroll of Secrets. I think this one's obviously far better than the level 0 one. So you're looking at the bottom 3 and then dispersing those cards. Let's see here. Discard 1. So you may discard 1. You may add 1 to your hand. And then you put the rest on the top or bottom of their deck. Or your deck. Wait, hang on. Or the encounter deck. Yeah, okay, this one's crazy flexible. Level 3 Scroll of Secrets is super good, right? Like, that's... If you're going Tome Daisy, you probably look at this pretty hard, right?
I think so. I think, though, the big key to that is I don't think you take level 0. I think you just grab level 3.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay, I dig.
Yeah.
It also opens
Okay.
up a little interesting thing if we do grab the Vermi. I'm just going to call it Vermies. Because you can discard one of these cards and then use the Vermies to play it at a reduced cost. Something like that.
Okay.
Because it'll be in
So-
your discard pile.
It sounds like this is the way we're heading anyway. I'm going to say that... Or I'm gonna posit to you guys that we just start looking at building around Vermies, right?
Yeah.
It seems
I
like the most interesting build for what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right.
It's just really good.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So, the direction that puts us in then is a very, very interesting kind of purpley direction. I think we want to look pretty hard at maybe Moonlight Ritual,
Yes. I think that's a auto include for us at this point at level 0.
and then as a result, Renfield instead of Milan. Okay. See, I thought that would be an easy
here we
sell.
Go. Are we tabooing or no?
We are tabbing.
Okay, then
You
I
even
would say
tabbing, bro?
Renfield. I would say Renfield over Milan. I don't think Daisy needs the intellect boost, and
See, I was going to say Mr. Rook.
I'm not going to
Ooh.
put up a fight against
Yeah.
Mr. Rook.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
like, if we want to get those tomes out, and if we start really going tome heavy, we will actually want Daisy's tote bag for once. Like, it seems to me like this is going to be, I don't want to say a combo deck, but it's going to start kind of heading that way-ish. It's not going to combo out, but there's a lot of small combos you want to play together. And Mr. Rook is a really good guy to put those puzzle pieces together in your hand.
So how many allies do you guys usually run? Do you run one or two? Because I think we could probably do both and then maybe cut, what's his name, Renfield, if it ends up just getting too full.
Honestly, I think we run both because Renfield and Rook together form the I was going to say trifecta, but there's only two of them.
Difecta.
Yeah, the difecta. Yeah, let's go with that. The difecta of card games, because Renfield gets you resources, Rook gets you card draw. And the great thing is that Rook is an answer to an impending Renfield.
That's true. And then you can draw Renfield with your Rook and play Renfield again. Oh, they just cycle through each other.
Yeah,
And
see,
you could...
match made in heaven. Okay. So we
So
have
let's
a path.
Right. So let's throw two Mr. Rook and two Renfield in. We're doing that?
Yep. I'm down.
And then you wanted 2 Moonlight Ritual as well, because we're going to head...
Yes. Yeah, we're going
to... Doomy Daisy.
So then do we look at cards that add Doom, or do we just assume that removing Doom from the scenario is... Or no, Moonlight Ritual only does your cards, right?
Yeah.
One card you control.
I think it's mostly going to be doing work once we get Vermes and then Renfield. Like, I think that's the focus, but I don't think we start adding a bunch of other Doom cards, because then we're going to be stressing our Moonlight Rituals too much.
Sure, makes sense.
Okay. So if we're kind of looking at Vermes being kind of the key card in the eventual deck, it's going to take 4 experience to get there. What are kind of the key spells and insight? I laugh at insight because it's just, hey, literally any Seeker event. What are some of the key cards you would hope to recur with that combo, do you guys think?
Delve too deep.
Wait. It would never be in your discard pile.
No, but I was thinking to get to the experience quicker.
I like your spirit, though. So I'm just kind of looking through the spells here. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm still on leveled up ones.
Logical reason? No, maybe. I guess I don't know about logical reason.
Mind
Daisy.
over matter. Maybe.
Sure. No stone unturned.
Ward. Particularly
Ward.
level 2 Ward.
Oh, God, yeah. Double Ward.
I mean, we want it, but we can't recur it.
Yeah. Because it takes an
Wait, what?
action.
It takes an action.
Ward of... Oh!
The Vermes, it has to be something that we play during.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Accurate. Okay.
But we were
I
going to
think
use the
that's-
wards anyway.
I think at some point, if we're going towards that, was it the Narcotic Manuscripts? We'll want Truth from Fiction.
I was just going to suggest that, yeah.
Okay.
If that was something that we wanted to.
Are we going to have other things with secrets on it?
Oh, what else has secrets?
Mr. Rook has secrets.
Oh, Mr. Rook.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
duh, Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
So then I would posit that we look at Enraptured as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a charge.
Yeah, so it's an intellect skill and adds a charge or a... Wait, is it a charge or a secret?
Charge or secret, yep.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, 2 Enraptured.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
two-
Oh, God, guys. These are
Oh,
so many
this-
cards I've never put together before. I'm at half-mast right now.
It's happening.
Yeah. So, 2 Truth from Fiction as well? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and we did 2 wards.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Super quick. Let's grab some basic assets that we know we're gonna take.
Sure.
Old book of lore. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Because that is Daisy's sig. Do we want any of the side quests?
That's a what?
The seeker upgrade.
Oh.
The discover this. Do that.
What? Okay, so what do you primarily use those for in their upgraded form? Do you primarily go for, like, the enemy management ones?
I usually do, kind of enemy management ones. Is it the glyphs? Yeah, the glyphs are the ones where you can investigate and evade an enemy.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's one of those.
Yeah,
That's useful.
I like those ones.
And
I
the
don't-
level 0 ones are a tome, so that's nice for Daisy, too.
Sure.
That's true.
I think if we're going to look at any of them, that's the one I'd prefer.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's throw it in for now.
Yeah.
What I think we're gonna have to look at is when we kind of get to when we're gonna start cutting. Like, how many actions do we actually expend futzing around with our little combos? Because if we think we're gonna be kind of action intensive in that way, then I don't think the side quests are gonna be that viable, right?
Yeah. I mean, the one that I find is the most viable if we are going to be putzing around is Strange Solution, because it's a one-time. It's like play it, action to do it, discovered, right? Like Archaic Glyphs takes 4 action, like a whole turn, but it is also foolproof. But anyways,
how do you guys feel about and I have never asked this question myself in Daisy, fingerprint kit versus like magnifying glass?
So we're gonna be rich.
Both.
I mean, we could do both. That's a lot of hand slots.
Yeah,
that is if we're going heavy tome.
The thing with fingerprint kit is because it gives us that clue compression, it also gives us more time to futz around with our tomes.
Fair enough. All right, so let's throw that in for now. We'll see if we cut it.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, so given that one tome action per turn will be free, you guys, how do you guys feel about the level 0 Scroll of Secrets? Do you think that's worth looking at? Kind of sounded like this. So just reminding everyone, this one you look at the bottom card of any investigator's deck or the encounter deck, and you can either discard it, add it to its owner's hand, put it on the bottom of the deck, or put it on top of the deck.
I mean, we're going tome heavy, we're going secret play, and we're planning on getting the level 3 version of this anyway. So I think adding it now and then cutting it later if need be is probably a good way to go.
Sure. I expect it'll get cut, but I think it's probably worth throwing in.
And even if it's just one up like that, it's probably still okay.
All right.
Just because it's playing into, this is literally playing, despite the fact that it's a lackluster ability overall, it's playing into every angle that we're trying to go for with this Daisy. So.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Do we want any accessories?
I was looking at Tooth, which made me think of Rosary, but I'm not sure I want either of them.
Yeah, I don't know if they really have a place. I mean, Tooth is nice, because generally will, and I guess sometimes agility is kind of what that encounter deck is testing, but we don't need more card draw, that's for sure, between Rook and Old Book of Lore and potentially Scroll of Secrets. So
I agree.
Do we want St. Hubert's Key?
See, that one I like normally, but
I think you know what? I think we would drop fingerprint kit for that, because that leaves us a hand slot and it gets us.
Yeah,
I know it's not as much compression, but
I think it's fine
for the build we're going for. I think that does better things.
And in 2-player, you don't need as much compression. It is nice, but okay. So we drop fingerprint kit for.
Yeah, you're gonna get more out of St. Hubert's Key, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
Because we are going to need some will boot. Like, if we're going Vermies, that means we're probably going to be trying to play a lot of spell events, and some of those require will tests, so... Yeah.
Do we want to throw 2 mind over matter in?
I think level 0, it's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's an auto include for me, and if we cut it, we cut it.
Yeah, it's potentially something we can recur.
To me, it's always that, like, everyone should be able to handle rats.
Right.
On their own, right? Like, I don't need to call Skids over to help me fight a mouse.
I mean, maybe, though.
Yeah.
Shortcut? Premonition? Auto includes? Maybe we cut them?
Yep. Just toss them in.
Yeah.
This is us flashbacks. What did we get to? Like 48 cards?
You guys were at like 60 something. Come on.
Oh, it was
something. Yeah, it was like a Lord of the Rings deck.
I mean, Premonition is just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been upset to see it.
Right.
How about
so
logical
do we want to
reasoning?
look at... I was thinking about that just because I love it, but then again, I mostly play Guardians.
I mean, we are playing with Skids, so...
And this is one that we could recur with Vermies, bear in mind.
Yeah.
That's very true. And it's not a bad skill card at all.
But is it one you'd want to... Oh, yeah, I suppose you could chuck it for a skill test and then recur it out of your discard pile later. Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to look at some spells since we're planning to go with Vermes? Because the only spell we have right now is what, Ward?
We should. Yeah.
Well, Vermes also does insight traded cards.
Yeah.
Right, but we have a lot of insight and we don't have any spell. I didn't know if there's
Yeah.
anything that we wanted to consider for spells.
That one's hard.
For spells.
What is she lacking right now? She has movement. She has some enemy management. I think an enemy.
Yeah, like Storm of
Shriveling or
Spirits,
something.
maybe,
or Storm. Yeah.
Are we? It's like, do we have enough willpower though for Storm?
I mean, if we're running Renfield and Key...
She
Got
should be
Hubert's
up
Key,
to 5.
We've got Renfield. We've got double logical reasoning that you can pitch.
Yeah.
That we just talked about. We have Enraptured's intellect.
I think we can...
Options are there.
I think we can throw it in and
Yeah.
probably cut it.
I
but,
think she
you know,
needs some kind of damage, because Skids is...
She does.
Skids is leaning enemy management, but it's not like he's, like, super killer, you know? There's definitely going to be some times he needs a little help.
And you can always premonition your Storm of Spirits to make sure that you're whole.
Yep.
Right, yeah,
You surely
that's true.
can. Another event
Knowledge
that
is power, right?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that one. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to play with that one badly. So.
Knowledge is, that's a skill. No, that's an asset.
It's
That's
a
an
new event. Yeah.
It's an event.
Yeah.
So do I not have that? I must not have that in mind.
It's from Union and Disillusion. Choosing a
Yeah,
tome or spell
brand new.
asset you control, or reveal a tome or spell asset from your hand, and you resolve the ability on that asset, ignoring all costs.
I have Union and Dissolution marked as in my collection.
It's a seeker card.
Oh, it's
Seeker
Seeker.
event.
Yeah,
I was looking
yeah.
at Rogue. Okay, thank you. Knowledge is power. Ah, there it is.
I'm just looking
I
at...
like the way this is looking.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be fun. I'm looking specifically at spell traded things. The problem is with Vermes is it requires that spell be an action card, and a lot of the spells
Yeah.
that I think Daisy would want to take are those fast ones.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Maybe Astral Travel, but I don't think so. Blinding Light. Deny Existence is not. Eldritch Inspiration is not. Hypnotic Gaze is not. Yeah, see, there's so many things. Moonlight Ritual, you could recur. That's cool. You can recur Moonlight Ritual out of your discard pile to get the Doom off of Vermes. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think we kind of hit the ones that we would be interested in seeing for Storm of Spirits, Moonlight Ritual, Ward of Protection.
Yeah, I mean, unless we want to look at
Oh,
any of
Ward,
the
you can't do that
assets.
with it.
Okay, so let's look for a quick second. Do you think it's worth looking at like Wither as her rats option as opposed to something else, because that does synergize more with, for instance, knowledge is power?
The only reason I like Mom slightly better,
Because it's just way more efficient and easy to use.
well, I mean, yeah, it also does agility,
Yeah.
and
It's
And,
on
like,
the turn.
like Wither, to get yourself to 5, you'll need St. Hubert's Key and Renfield
True.
or skill cards, whereas Mom right away you're at a 5.
Okay, I agree.
But,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to go really purple here. I think the smart move is to think more about the insight recursion than the spell recursion.
You know what though? Maybe you're not wrong.
No, I think for this specific build, well, I think in general for Daisy, I like Mom better than most of the spell options, at least at level 0. I think once you look at higher levels, upgraded Shriveling or Shards of the Void might be a little bit better, simply because they last for, you can have them out in play, but it's hard to get around that 5 intellect, and yeah, Mind Over Matter just, without asking anything from you other than a resource,
Yeah.
you bump both of those.
So, I'm going to float this out there. I know we were already kind of sold on the Renfield Rook combo. What do you guys think of like a cheeky one of Research Librarian?
I mean, if he has a place in
Do
any
you think-
deck, it's in a Daisy Tome book.
Do you think Rook just completely overshadows him because he does more than tomes?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think there's one specific tome we're going to be looking so hard for.
Except for Vermes.
You know what I mean?
until we get to Vermes.
Yeah. But we've already got Old Book of Lore. We've got Mr. Rook.
We have a lot of dig in this deck.
Scroll of Secrets. Like, it's... Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be able to find what we need.
I
think. Yeah. So, crazy
This deck
idea.
you sure will.
Crazy idea.
Oh god.
Just keep this in the back of your mind. Backpack could become something...
That's weird, but I like it.
No. You have Rook. Why would you take Backpack when you have Rook?
Because you can both Rook and Backpack.
But we also have Book of Lore. We also have Scroll of
That's
Secret.
true.
Again,
Book of Lore and
Yeah.
Rook is a lot
we have
of dig.
so much dig in this deck. We don't
But
need to
Backpack
make
gets
room
Old
for
Book of Lore,
Backpack.
which gets
No.
Mr. Rook,
No.
which gets...
No. You don't need it.
I like the spirit,
not-
though.
We're 2 cards over. We're not making
has her
room for
own
Backpack.
deck.
Oh, we're only 2 cards over now, Nick. Just wait. We're going to be at 50 cards, then we'll cut back.
In my head, I'm like, we're done.
No, that ain't how this game works.
Mm-mm.
Delve
Okay.
too deep, right?
At least to start off, we can always cut it.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Here's an interesting one. What about Crack the Case?
Oh, I like what it tried. That's the 4. Oh, no, it's a 0 cost. Never mind. I was
Our
thinking
cost
of
curve is
Xbox.
going to be through the roof. Like, books are expensive.
Yeah, and
It's actually not bad.
it goes to all investigators at that location. Like you can
help
distribute
Skids
them.
out.
So Skids is cash hungry too.
Yep. I like it.
I like Crack the Case if we're planning on like doing Forewarned, because then you can like sneakily put a clue on a Big Shroud location, knowing you're gonna grab it off again.
Could do Forewarned.
Remind me that Skids build you guys did. Is that fast cash? Like, do you have a lot of resource generation in that deck?
Average?
It's middling,
There's
yeah.
some. There's like Lone Wolf, Quiche, and something else that I can't remember. Watch this.
Sure.
So it's not like
Okay.
drowning in resources, but
And we have Renfield in this. I don't know if Crack the Case is good. Like, I think it'd be fun, but I don't think it's necessary.
I'm in that camp.
Okay.
You don't think it's necessary?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
I
gonna fight
realize
it if
that
you guys want to throw it in, but I think it's
I
gonna
would
get
say
cut.
I realize that I build decks completely differently than Scott and Ian do, because they literally just throw everything in and then
Accurate.
start cutting.
Yeah.
Whereas
Accurate.
once I get to 30, I'm like, okay, I have what I need. What else is, in the running?
And I'm right there in the middle where I'm making my cuts as I add cards into the deck.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to toss you in because I like you, but you're.
me,
I mean,
me
you're
and
up to
Scott
Dodgeblock
just have
straight
the
away.
shopping cart running through the aisle, just sweeping stuff
With
into
the
our
arm
cart.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
One more under the breach, man. Just like keep on tossing cards.
And then we'll
All right,
put it
I
back
will-
once we get to the cash register.
I think my record is 78 cards.
Boy.
Why not just grab everything for both classes and then just start cutting? Like,
I
why
was
not
about
just
to
do
say,
it that
why,
way?
why do you like cutting so much, Scott?
Yeah.
Oh.
So crack
Sure.
the case. Are we putting it
Sure, we'll do 2 in. We'll do 2 in only because I know it's going to get cut.
Mark
It is
for
Well,
death.
insight, though, so there is no... hang on,
Everything is insight!
But it's fast.
Everything.
It doesn't work with Vermes. And honestly, for our cutting, that's going to be a huge influence on what I rail for. Is it
Sean,
doesn't
you,
work
you
with
can't
Vermes.
look at a seeker event and go, but it is insight. Because
That's true. Except
It's just-
we're planning on upgrading into Vermes, so I think there is merit to it.
You
Pointing
can
it out.
actually when you look at eidetic memory, because it is
now?
not insight.
but
Oh. But it becomes an insight, so that's moot.
Yes,
So let's.
I'm just being a dick.
So clarifying Vermes though, like you can play something that's fast, but you can't play something that's essentially like in response to something happening. If I
Right.
have it
Has to be your
like
turn.
Crack the Case is in response to discovering the last remaining clue, so you can't.
Correct.
But something that's just straight up fast, like let's say working
Shortcut.
a hunch,
those would both
Yeah.
work.
you could do it. It would just take an action, but
Yeah.
of course Daisy can take
Yeah.
that away. Yeah,
and
I
my
just
example
wanted
of
to
shortcut
get that
is a bad
clarified.
idea. I'm gonna play a Doom to play paid action.
Hey,
To
you know,
get a
you
free
might
move.
get to that situation.
Pro play.
Hey, if you're engaged with it, no, never mind. It's still an action.
We only have 2 skill cards,
Yes.
and for me, an auto include. Well, it's probably not here because again we have so much dig power. But Eureka is almost always an auto include for my Seeker decks. But I don't think. I guess I don't think it's that. But deduction. Maybe?
Deduction, yes.
Yeah.
I think
We
deduction.
need a
for
little
sure.
bit of
The fact
acceleration.
that we didn't start with that seems a little weird.
We've kind of been going crazy. Like I know
Yeah,
when
it seems
when
like we
Ian and
kinda-
I build, it was like, okay, let's look at rogue assets, rogue events, but this has been like 4 people jumping all over. Like,
What about this card?
So the only thing that we haven't really talked about yet are neutral cards. Do we want quiche? Because our cost curve isn't bad right now. I mean, we're over on the card count, and we have 12 0-cost cards, and then it just continues to go down until we end with 2 4-cost cards.
Which is just our keys. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually sitting pretty
Yeah.
good for... So I don't think we need quiche.
Ooh, man, I think you might be right.
I think, and with Renfield, I think we're fine. And crack the case, because that's totally going to
Oh,
stay
man.
up.
I would struggle in Scott.
I think we need
would-
one
no,
of
no.
either crack the case or quiche. Like, I'm not ready to
Agreed.
go naked on.
Okay, you know
That's-
what?
that's
if,
what I was
if
gonna
we're
say.
between the two, I'm going to rail for Crack the Case because it has icons.
For
Crack the
which
case.
one?
Crack the Case over Quiche.
Okay.
Why is that?
Because it has icons and it's more flexible should Skids need the resources.
And you can get more money.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Does crack the case only work if you're at the same location?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Otherwise, it's just you.
Oh,
Alright.
yeah, so Lone Wolf Skids is going to be happy about that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Great.
he just has to start his turn alone, right? Like if you meet up, Daisy goes first, clears the clue, gives him money, leaves.
Yeah.
Then
Oh
he
my
starts
God.
his turn, right?
The required tactics to play these decks optimally it's getting weirder and weirder.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Just wait till
I
the
would
encounter
love-
deck drops some fog on you and boost the shroud by 2, and you're like, yes.
Yeah. We need to release a flow chart of how to play these decks, turn by turn. What do you do?
No,
Anyway, okay.
I think the discovery of the weirdness is going to be the charm of this campaign. Trust
Nick
it.
is unconvinced.
Trust the process.
So, do we want any neutral skills? I don't see any.
I don't think we.
I don't think
Did
so.
we? I'm sorry. Did I miss? Did we add in Inquiring Mind?
No.
We did not.
Really?
We did not, but we added in deduction.
Okay. So right now our skills are Deduction and Enraptured.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I love Inquiring Mind, but I generally try to go more for decks
Utility.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's like I was talking earlier, Sean, while you were gone, that I usually put Eureka in every single Seeker deck, but with so much card draw already in this one, I don't think we need it.
I agree.
Inquiring Mind is nice. I guess I don't know. I could see having.
Let's toss it in. I mean, we're
Yeah,
not.
Sure. I mean,
we're
that
not
seems
that
to be
fat
the way
right
that
now.
we're doing it. No, we're only 10 cards over. That's not bad, right?
Yeah.
Let's toss it in. And then for the other neutral skills, you know?
Nothing.
Wait,
Probably
other
not.
neutral skills? No, we don't need it.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Perfect.
No.
How times
Reckless
have
assault.
changed.
Okay. So let
Prophesy?
me confirm.
Just kidding.
Well, we do have Renfield. It's not the craziest thing I've heard.
Renfield and Moonlight Ritual.
Yeah.
No.
No.
All right, so let me run through the deck list as it sits and confirm it with you guys. Unless anyone else wants to rail for any level 0 ads. Are we good?
Nope. I
I'm
think,
happy.
Think I'm
yeah,
good.
I got most of my babies.
Do we want
in
any?
there.
I've got a plan. Probably not. Eh?
Oh, I forgot about I got a plan.
One.
One.
Let's go one.
Yeah.
If
One.
we're gonna put 1 in, let's put 2 in.
Okay.
At this point, there's no reason to just do 1.
It's
Nick's-
such a good
Nick's on the-
Vermes
the
target
beat.
because Vermes reduces it to 2, and it's
That's true.
just
That's
feels
true.
good.
Yeah, I suppose
that's
you
my-
could- you could play it. Wait, how does Vermes work? Would Vermes attack? I'm sorry.
Nobody
would
knows
Vermes
how it
invoke an
works.
attack of opportunity if you play
Yes.
I've Got a Plan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the thing. But anyway. Okay, so I've got 2 archaic glyphs, 2 old book of lores, 2 scroll of secrets, 2 St. Hubert's key, 2 Renfield, 2 rook, 2 I've Got a Plan, 2 Crack the Case, 2 Delve Too Deep, which was the sequel to... Yeah, anyway. Two
I see what you're
knowledge...
going for.
I couldn't finish the joke. I'm sorry, guys. I failed you. 2 knowledge is power, 2 logical reasoning, 2 mind over matter, 2 moonlight ritual, 2 premonition, 2 shortcut, 1 storm of spirits, 2 truth from fiction, 2 ward of protection, 2 deduction, 2 enraptured, and 2 inquiring mind.
I have 2 Storm of Spirits in there, but
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Storm
that's
is-
definitely going to go down to 1, but I'll
Yep.
throw 2 in there. Okay, so we're actually super event heavy, which is cool for the Vermes build, right?
mm-hmm.
So let's look at assets then.
Okay.
We're good on allies, right? Renfield and Rook. It seems like a match made in
Yes.
heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like St. Hubert's Key is going to do good things for us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Um,
scroll can drop to 1 or 0.
I wouldn't be opposed.
Yeah.
Let's go to 0.
Yep. Until we get that level 3 one, it's just
Yeah.
I think it's just inferior.
I think even at a free action, you'd rather be doing something else.
Right.
Okay. I think
Look at
I think we're good to keep the glyphs, right?
Well, yeah.
Looks like it for now.
I don't
mean,
think we're that action intensive. Look at we have such little setup to do.
Oh my god, the glyphs give you resources too.
Yeah. And we've
Why
got
is Crack the Case in this deck?
we've got an
Anyway.
assload of intellect icons to chuck for the glyphs, and it's a free action, so I just feel like that's going to be a pretty easy objective
Yeah.
to complete.
They'll be out of this deck quick, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. So assets remain at 12. That is a lean, mean setup. I'm really excited to see how that rolls.
that is going to grow as we level up.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving to events. So let's talk
Should
about.
we do skills first because the events seem to be the more contentious between us.
Sure. Let's do skills. So deduction stays, right?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enraptured, how many things did we actually end up with that take secrets or charges? Like, next to nothing. Except for Rook.
Rook and
Rook has secrets.
Well,
But I don't feel like I really want to stack secrets on Rook because I'm going to be popping them out for Renfield, right?
Are
or
you?
vice versa.
Aren't
Well,
you?
Yeah.
I think
I think it's
mean-
going to change. I think there's games when you're going to have Rook out for a while because you're not getting what you need or whatever.
And I feel like the way this deck is probably going to roll with both Rook and Old Book of Lore, you're probably going to be Rooking yourself and Old Book of Loring Skids a lot, right?
Probably. I think Enraptured was us future-proofing this.
yeah, for the narcotic manuscripts potentially.
And also the what's that bad book we're using? Not bad book, but the evil.
Vermes.
There it is.
Oh, I was like Necronomica?
Yeah.
Yeah, Enraptured for the Vermes too. Yeah.
The Latin
So-
one. The Latin bad book.
Wait,
I mean, I'd be
Vermes doesn't
I'd be-
take...
Yeah,
secrets.
Vermes is just
Oh,
placing
yeah.
doom.
I'd be
Oh.
fine dropping Enraptured. I think.
Maybe we
Because I
don't
think
need
we-
Enraptured.
I think. Oh, well, we used to have Scroll of Secrets in here as well. And
Yeah.
did.
Right.
And if we're planning on
Question?
upgrading to level 3,
Question.
Mm-hmm.
The Archaic Glyphs becomes a spell that uses charges, correct?
Yes.
That might be something to think about.
Yeah.
but then you're keeping Enraptured in there just for archaic glyphs?
Well,
And,
and
Rook and
Scroll
potentially
Secrets
manuscripts.
and
yeah.
Rook. Yeah.
How about we drop
So-
to 1?
1. Okay.
Well, do we?
Well-
the question is, are we going to need both Truth from Fiction and Enraptured because they're doing essentially the same thing?
Truth from Fiction is vermisible. Drop Enraptured.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Right?
We're not hurting for intellect icons. It's not the only thing it's getting us is the charges, whereas Truth from Fiction only does secrets.
Yeah.
But what else do we have? The only thing that we'll have that has charges is glyphs. So I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
right?
Dropping it.
Especially if Skids is going heavy enemy management.
Yep. I agree.
Famous last
So
words.
we're dropping Enraptured.
Dropping Enraptured. Much as I
Fully.
like it, and much as I was excited to have it in there, I think the way this is ending up going, we're not going to need it as much.
All right. I've got a plan. Let's drop to 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Storm of Spirits as well?
I think so. I think they're both really niche, and I think you'll only ever use them once per game, so you don't want to see 2 copies.
Yeah, I think.
And if you really do need to, you're going to have bad Latin book.
Yeah,
Vermes.
Mr.
Yeah.
Vermes. Yeah, I like the flexibility of having one of each.
So, okay, and I know we're going back to potentially adding cards here, but let me ask a question. If we're looking at Vermes and potentially taking an attack of opportunity for using it, is Deny Existence worth looking at?
Why'd you have to bring up a good card? Why couldn't it be one I could just say no to immediately?
I know, I'm sorry. Had to bring up a card with Diana on it. Maybe not. Rook and
Wait a
Renfield have decent health soak.
Yeah.
So you're saying you use Vermes to pull I've Got a Plan, and then you use Deny Existence to ignore the attack of opportunity? Is that what?
Well, I mean, Deny Existence is multi-purpose, but I'm saying that's potentially another place for it to be useful.
Right.
Let me ask you this: what do you take out for? Yeah. See, that's how I look at this. I don't look at it as add it in and we'll figure it out later. I look at it as like,
Sure.
I'm already over. What am I gonna? I don't know.
Okay.
Not that your guys' philosophy is wrong. It's just
That's
contrary to how I approach it. So.
Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it out. It's less room for Vermes to do its thing. Okay.
True.
So Crack the Case. We okay sticking with that for now?
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Although
I'll be
looking at the
honest-
curve,
Yeah, let's look at our curve now.
Our curve is great.
It's not bad.
it's actually yeah.
Yeah, our curve's great.
If we could
I
drop,
guess
if we could drop a couple 3 costs and a couple 2 costs, I'd feel better.
The only thing is though, if like when we upgrade, are we gonna want money cards?
Well, our curve's going to be terrible when we up.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But we are running Renfield, guys. Let's not forget that. Renfield giveth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of that sentence.
He also taketh away. Sometimes a lot.
Yeah.
Not with Moonlight Ritual, he doesn't.
So I'm going to be, even though I said it first and then Sean agreed later, the more I look at Delve Too Deep, the more I think it's kind of low-hanging fruit for something to get rid of.
Fine, if
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
cut
so
my balls
too.
off.
I
Cut the balls off. Jeez.
I think with Skids and Daisy, you don't tempt fate.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. It's
And
got-
and you know what? I think the goal of this deck is okay. Let me explain this before you jump all at me. Not to do super good. It's to do good, but super funly. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you.
Sure, if we're
God,
going to
that
pretend
sentence.
funly's a word.
That sentence is terrible. Do good funly.
Jesus Christ, that sounds like something Trump said.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think.
But
Delve
I
fits
agree.
in there, is what I'm saying. And
But I
like
agree.
Delve to me is if you're making a lean, mean Daisy deck that's like, hey, I want to investigate, and we're not playing with tomes or anything. We're just doing Daisy things. You can fit Delve in there. Right now, we're trying to do fun things, and
Right.
Delve, we just don't have the room.
Okay, I agree. Delve is cut.
Yep. Cool.
I'm going to rail to drop 1 Truth from Fiction. I don't think we need to run 2. I just don't think there's enough situations where we're going to desperately want to always add secrets. Like, if we see 1 a game, probably okay with it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah.
Okay?
I still like it. Like the icons are just great.
Yes, the icons are
Sure.
really good.
With two intellect.
But we're not hurting for intellect icons.
We are not.
True story.
At 18.
18.
All right. 33 cards.
We're close.
Oh, God, these are going to be hard cuts, though.
Yeah.
The last cut is the
Okay.
deepest.
Moon
Do we
double-
need-
oh,
Oh, Moonlight Ritual, 2 of them?
Well, it's future proofing because we have both Renfield and
Yeah.
we're gonna get
Yeah.
Vermes.
That's important for Vermes.
Okay.
I want to protect that one a little bit, at least.
Okay.
How are we feeling about logical reasoning in a deck that's running both St. Hubert's Key and Renfield? Do you think we need two?
To
Probably-
me, it's more Skids.
Yeah,
Sure.
Skids insurance.
That's how bad Skids.
I don't wanna
have
buy
to build
that.
the other decks
I
to
don't.
fill up his weakness.
Okay. How about Knowledge is Power? Do we think that sits at a 2 of?
That's
Do you
kind
think
of
that's like a
mini
one-
Vermes, isn't it?
Kind of. Okay, so reminding everyone what it does. Fast. Play only during your turn. Choose a tome or spell asset. So that's going to be Vermes, the upgraded
Old Book of Lore.
glyphs, Old Book of Lore, and you resolve it. I mean, you basically use its action for free, and if it was in your hand, you discard it and draw a card. Is that a twice per game thing you think?
You know, looking at what we have and what we're going to build and how it's going to flesh out, like, we're going to want them in play.
Yeah.
And with any other investigator who would have trouble with the hand slots, like if we are using the tomes, we have all this dig, and we can actually, surprisingly, use her book bag. I think we actually drop both copies of Knowledge's Power.
Oh, you think
Is
both?
is knowledge's power the card that we replace to make room for Vermes?
The thing is, like, before we get Vermes out, let's see, we can do it with Old Book of Lore.
The glyphs.
Well, we wouldn't do that with the glyphs because it wouldn't do anything.
nothing for you.
So currently the list is Old Book of Lore.
Storm of Spirits. No.
Nope.
Never mind.
Asset.
Oh no, it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
The current list is Old Book of Lore.
I think we go down to 1 for sure. Let's round back on dropping it entirely.
I kind of want to
Okay,
keep the
okay.
1 just for the flexibility later, because yes, now it's just Obel, but we are upgrading into future tomes, like potentially the manuscripts and the Vermes. And like, consider if we have Vermes out, we can resolve that action ignoring the cost, so we wouldn't be paying the action costs. So we could do something like, recur, I've got a plan without taking the opportunity attack if we do use Knowledge's Power, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is 0 cost too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And fast.
And it cantrips itself too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay. Oh god, this is getting tough. Okay.
So when I get to this point, what I usually look at are my one-ofs, and I think, do I really need those? Because I'm of the mindset that I prefer 2-ofs over 1-ofs. You know what I mean? Like, I like the consistency more than the, I don't want to get rid of this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I like fun though.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think our 1-ofs are kind of in, like, we only have 4. And they're all...
Yeah.
should we cut Necronomicon?
I'd love it. I'd love it.
It's a one of. Yeah.
And I do
Okay,
generally
I think-
agree with that approach, Nick, but then it's complicated in this
This-
build because with Vermes, like, those one-ofs can suddenly multiply themselves potentially.
So then looking at our 2-ofs, I'm okay losing a shortcut.
Yeah, it hurts, but I agree.
Yeah. Hurts, but I
Looking
agree.
at what we're trying to do with the deck, I think
Yeah.
it's more important that we drop there.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, the next one, Premonition?
I'd rather touch an inquiring mind than I'd rather touch inquiring mind than premonition personally.
I think I'd rather lose a shortcut again than a premonition.
I was gonna say second shortcut. I was honestly gonna drop both shortcuts.
I think. Oh man, inquiring mind. Oh, okay. So here's my view on shortcut versus premonition. Right, like premonition to me saves you an action, basically by saying you know how you can pass this, so you can't possibly fail.
Saves you an action and potentially cards that you're committing too.
Right, exactly. Shortcut saves you an action by a free move, and while you do move a lot, it's limited to only moving. So I value premonition higher. then
All
sure.
right,
agree.
let's lose the second shortcut then.
I'm fine with that.
Oh, that one hurts. That one.
Yeah,
cuts
that
deep.
did that
That
did
was
hurt
a deep
bit.
cut.
But
Yeah.
guys, we are
Not
down.
just the shortcut.
Wait. Do we want a painkillers?
Stop it.
No.
But
The only-
backpack.
I might need a painkiller, but I don't think.
I think between Renfield and Rook and the fact that we're probably going to want to get rid of either or both of them at some point, I think we're okay. Because they both have 2 health.
Okay.
Wait, were you serious about painkillers?
Yeah, I kind of like a single one, especially with St. Hubert's Key. Like, you can actually take some hits and not be scared
I'll
for your
consider
life.
it if you tell me what we cut.
But St. Hubert's Key heals you. Like, it
Yeah,
it
but
takes
that's-
care of that.
But no, St. Hubert's Key is, like, it allows you to move your damage to your horror, and then St. Hubert's Key heals the horror. Like,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
I honestly haven't used smoking pipe or painkillers in forever, so.
What would we drop, though?
Yeah,
Crap.
there you go. I'll throw that. That's the question. What do you take out? Crack the case.
That was actually one of the ones I was suggest.
Our curve has gotten less favorable with our cuts. I don't know if you guys
It's
have
barely
looked at
moved.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
the curve itself is the same. It's just
it. The hump has gotten a little higher.
a little bit.
It's not bad. It's not a bad curve at all, but
But it's going to get worse as you upgrade. That's right. That's the thing
Yeah.
that you got to think about. Now it's fine, but
I think Renfield and Rook are pretty good soaks. Like,
Okay.
and ideally,
Oh my God.
Skids is going to be taking heat off of Daisy, so I think we're okay.
Renfield only has a sanity of 1?
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
he's mostly.
And that's why painkillers is actually really good, because you,
What a
like, whenever you
useless
need to get rid of them, you're just like, painkillers by Renfield. I don't know. And
I
then
like
if
that, but we've got Rook, and we've got Moonlight Ritual.
yeah.
Yeah, like in our chat, Eric said, "Drop a third shortcut."
Done!
Thanks, Eric.
We just keep a pile of shortcuts near our decks that we just toss out and add in more cards.
Bondage
Hey.
shortcuts.
Myriad of shortcuts, if you will.
Okay, well that puts us at 30 if we're saying no to the painkillers.
I mean, unless you drop Renfield for painkillers, I don't know what else.
No. Hard no.
Drop Renfield for painkillers.
Right? Like, I'm looking at this
Oh,
list.
Nick.
I don't know what else you'd take out.
I don't know. Old Book of Lore. Just kidding.
Okay,
Okay,
so
well-
if we had kicking and screaming Skids, do we have
Yeah, the most
dragging
important
and
part.
muffling Daisy?
Or how about just nerd? Because tomes. No. Okay.
The more you know, Daisy, because knowledge is power is in the deck.
What's the what was that old Schoolhouse Rock? Schoolhouse Rock, Daisy?
Why Schoolhouse Rock?
Because knowledge is power.
And it's also half the
silly
battle,
me.
if you didn't know.
What is Dave Vermeer's What does that translate to? Dave Vermeer's Mysteries.
I think it's probably
Say
literally the mysterious
Mysteries
book.
of the Worm. Mysteries of the Worm Daisy.
Wormy Daisy.
Do the worm, Daisy. Daisy does the worm.
Oh my god. Fine.
Yes. That's what I'm calling it for me. Daisy does the worm.
Okay, so that's our 30 cards. This looks like an interesting deck. This is definitely different than a lot of Daisy builds I've tried.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Big time.
It's got some very interesting little combos going on. I'm really interested to see where it goes once it gets some experience. But yeah, so as mentioned, guys, we are going to post both the Skids and Daisy deck. You guys have not posted the Skids deck yet, right?
Not yet. I don't think so.
Slackers!
Yeah.
God,
We'll
at least
post
for
them
one
together.
week. So we'll post them together. So go out on ArkhamDB and check the Mythos Busters account. It's kicking and screaming Skids, and then Daisy does the worm.
Is that referring to tequila or the dance?
I was picturing
Yes!
the dance, but yeah, either way is good.
And we would love to hear either you can join in Discord, you can leave us a voicemail on the Mythos Busters hotline. That's 203-493-6984. Send us a message at our Gmail, mythosbusterspod@gmail.com. However you'd like to contact us to tell us your Skids and Daisy stories. We'd love to hear the misadventures, what path you took for upgrading. You know, we've obviously given some idea of which way we intended to go, but God knows where we'd all go from here. And we will all be reporting back, right? Like, this is the next campaign I'm starting. Yeah. You guys?
I think this has to be the next TNA.
Oh, okay, fine. I can wait.
Okay. Yes.
So which?
Well, you can also do it. You can play it beforehand. That's okay.
Okay.
It could be a little bit of both. What is the recommended campaign are we saying for people to play this in? TCU?
Night of the Zealot.
Night of the Zealot. Return to Dunwich?
Return to Dunwich. That's what I'm going to recommend.
Okay. I dig. Cool. So then I won't feel bad for taking it on to TCU.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I'm super excited. We'll report back and hope to hear from you guys in myriad ways. So I think from here, perhaps let's move it on to Tentacle Time and wrap this sucker up.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, what's been grabbing you?
I finally finished the game Transistor. It is absolutely amazing. I had it on the Switch. It's actually an older game, isn't it? It's like 4 years old now?
Ish, yeah.
Somewhere on there. So it's so old, but super fun game. You're this girl running around with this, like, in a futuristic, dystopian kind of city, and you have this giant sword that does magical things, but
sounds like
technologically, yeah, talks like Alec Baldwin. And yeah, it's really cool because you essentially get bullet time, where it charges up and you can freeze, and then you input essentially computer prompts, which are your attacks. But the way your sword has a certain amount of memory, and so you have to install these programs which do different attacks, but you can also install them as upgrades to other programs, and so they'll alter other programs, and then you can have like passive ones, and they all do a different, like each program does 3 different things. Like, it's super, super fun. I finished the story, and once you're done the story, you can actually continue playing again at your higher leveled stuff, and then you get even higher levels, and you open up like certain areas that you couldn't go before and stuff like that. Like, it's
on
awesome.
This episode, Scott explains New Game Plus.
Yes. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It's super cheap, so I played it on Switch. It was super fun. Yeah.
And pro tip for anyone who's going to get it on PS4, turn the audio on your controller on.
Yes.
I played through like the first half of the game without that and did not realize what I was missing, because having the sword speak to you from your lap changes the experience.
Nice.
Yeah. Pro tip. Ian, how about you?
I feel like I'm going to be a bit of a repeat of last time, because last time around I was mentioning how I was playing through Life is Strange Before the Storm, which is the prequel to Life is Strange. I finished it. I actually finished a game. It happens now and then.
Does it explain why Zoe is so angsty?
Oh,
It's Zoe, not Chloe. Chloe, not Zoe.
Chloe, yeah. It really does in ways I can't emphasize enough. Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit nervous, as I mentioned last time, because it's like a different studio and different voice actors and all that. But man, they knocked it out of the park, and yeah, I would really recommend it to anyone who has played the first Life is Strange and really solidified it as one of my favorite games ever, I'd say. That's how far I'd go. So I rolled from there into starting to play Life is Strange 2. Which has 3 episodes out only so far out of... For those who are unfamiliar, Life is Strange kind of releases their games in episodes, so not all at once, and so sometimes you have to wait a little bit if you've only played... if you played through the ones that are out already. With the other games, I happened to play them after they were all out, so I never had that experience. But Life is Strange 2 is completely different characters from the first set of games. which is really hard to get over at first because you really get attached to those characters in the first kind of set of games and that particular setting. And in Life is Strange 2, brand new characters, brand new setting, and kind of the one common thread is the whole Life is Strange universe is based on like taking kind of the real world and giving like a young person some kind of power. So it's a different power in this game. I won't spoil too much for those who want to play it. So I kind of liken it to when there's a new Doctor in Doctor Who, and it's so hard to let go of the old Doctor, and you're just like, I don't even want to watch Doctor Who anymore. Like, it's not
still mourning Matt Smith, man.
It's not gonna live up to it. And then eventually you kind of warm up to the new Doctor and see what they're doing differently. Like, okay, so that's kind of how I'm feeling with Life is Strange 2, that it's super hard to let go of those old characters, and I'm still not quite there yet. But I do really like some of the stuff they're doing in Life is Strange 2. And without spoiling too much, I feel like they're doing a kind of story and exploring in that kind of narrative that I can't really think of another game that has done something similar. So, yeah, I'd recommend it so far.
My game queue is already getting super long because Sekiro is taking me forever. It is a great game. Holy cow, though, I was stuck on the second to last boss for like 2 weeks, and now I'm on to being stuck on the last boss for probably about as long. And I'm about to go on vacation and get rusty as hell and be bad at it when I get back. And I suppose the other thing to mention is I finally finished Breath of the Wild, which...
Finally.
Man, what a good game. And just in time for them to announce the sequel. So I'm like, yay! So anyway, I'm sure if you own a Switch and you're at all potentially interested in Zelda games, you've already bought and at least started playing Breath of the Wild. But if you haven't, fantastic game.
I still need to do that.
Ian.
Yes.
You're forgiven.
I still gotta finish Red Dead, so you probably shouldn't encourage me.
Woo! Yeah, you gotta finish Red Dead. That's definitely a thing.
That game exists.
Do you want to borrow mine? I should have brought it last time I saw you.
That's right. You still buy discs, don't you?
Maybe exactly for this reason, motherfucker. That's right.
So you can borrow it to your friend who lives almost 3 hours away?
Yeah. You're welcome for getting it.
Sean, I also buy physically.
Also...
So, right there with you.
Yeah, I also just, to the extent I can, I try not to futz around with hard drive space. Like, I know that's just the world we live in, but to the extent I can, I try to avoid that, and discs help.
I've moved too many times in the last 7 years to, want to have a desire to own physical copies anymore. Yeah. Unless it's like a collector's edition or something.
Also valid.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that fully. Let's see here. Where are we at? Nick, what you been up to?
What have I been doing? I'm doing another show, another play.
What, you?
Right? The Complete Works of William Shakespeare Abridged. It is a largely improv comedy that references all 37 plays that Shakespeare wrote.
Oh, that's cool.
We at least mention them all by name. We don't... There's actually, Romeo and Juliet's pretty much the first big section of the show, and Hamlet is the last big... Hamlet is Act 2.
As it should be.
Right, yeah, and Act 1 between Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet is literally everything else. It's really fun. I actually just finished rehearsals and then ran home super quick so I could get here in time for us to record. But other than that, what have I been playing lately? I've been doing a lot of role-playing stuff. Oh, we finished our Lord of the Rings campaign the other week.
Yeah.
In a special late-night session that I think it went okay, and then I had a nice long conversation with Casey and Justin,
and me.
Scott, and yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Scott was the other one that was hanging around too, about just how the campaign went as a whole, and how I thought about what I thought about it, and how I thought about how it progressed and changed from session to session. And I'm super excited to get our next campaign underway in September, so it's nice to have a couple months off. But looking at those months, they're not as, I'm not going to have as much time to prep as I would hope. between doing this play and then Gen Con is already like
Yeah.
a month and a half away.
Oh shit.
And like,
Yeah.
God, like, oh, I know, it's crazy. So yeah, a lot of RP stuff. I finished Resident Evil 2 remake, and now I'm playing Jurassic World Evolution because I was just paging through the PlayStation Store and my son was sitting on my lap and he was like, "Dinosaur game?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a dinosaur game." He's like, "Dad, play dinosaur game?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna buy that. Like, it doesn't look that. It's a park builder. I played those."
Son,
Dad,
this is
play
trash.
dinosaur
Don't you
game?
know this?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll buy it. And I played it. And I'm like, it's a park builder. You know, how good can it be? Oh, it's 2:15 a.m. I better. So true to, you know, like when I find a game that just kind of hits those notes and that I really like. And it has dinosaurs in it. And it looks great. So, yeah, it's actually pretty addicting.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's good to know that there's actually a decent park builder out there, because how many different spins on Jurassic Park can there really be?
Yeah, like I still want like an adventure game or a first person game or something like I want something that's on the ground in the park. And I actually saw a tweet a little while ago that was like, wouldn't the perfect Jurassic Park game would be one where you build the park, like you have a park builder, and then at a certain point shit goes, you know, everything goes to shit. And now you're on the ground, and you have to survive in the park that you built.
That would be
like,
awesome.
Oh, that's so cool!
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a long time before we see another adventure game, just because, like, these park builder games, that's all that we've gotten from Jurassic Park forever. And this one's actually good, so they don't really have a reason to do anything else. So,
Well, as long as people keep buying them.
right?
All right, excellent. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for episode 61. Guys, please tell us and share your stories with the Eldritch Adventures of Skids and Daisy. And you know what? If you end up changing the decks that we built a little bit to suit your own needs, more power to you. But we're really excited. I'm really excited to see what this turns out to be. I think it'd be kind of cool to have a campaign book club, so I'm really excited to see where it goes. So, from all of us at Mythos Busters, your Mouth Sounds podcast about Arkham Horror, the card game, we'll say goodnight, and we'll see you for episode 62. Bye, guys.